Hi everyone, it's Tawney. If you're new to my channel, I'm so glad you came to see me. I'm so glad you came to see my channel. I film makeup and vlog videos. I was gonna say YouTube videos, but we're already on YouTube. Today we are just gonna do a typical get ready with me. I'm just gonna put on some makeup. I got really in the mood to do one of these not too long ago in the middle of cleaning my apartment up. So I figured I would hop on and film that for you all. First up, I'm going to prime with the NYX Angel Veil Primer. I'm getting pretty low on this, and I'm going to need to pick up a new one. I've heard really good things about the Impossible Primer from Wet n Wild, but every time I go to my Ulta or Walmart, they never have it. And my CVS is the worst with getting new products. Sometimes they'll get new products, and sometimes they'll be the last people on the face of the earth to ever see a product release. And Wet n Wild is one of those that's very hit or miss with them. I live near some train tracks, but not near their crossing, but they sometimes blow the horn right around my place, which is very fortunate. So glad they do that. And they include me in that because apparently I need to know that there's a train, which doesn't have anything to do with me in the slightest. And the gas company is currently 2 houses down from me. They've completely dug up my aunt's yard, which I kind of hope she knows about that. Otherwise, she's going to be in for a rude awakening when they all get home from work today. They've completely dug up their entire backyard. And whenever I drove home, I was barely able to get into my driveway. And there were people inside the ground with a little pavilion over top of them because it had started to rain a little bit as I was driving home. So that's fun. Might go out and stare at them and sit out at my patio a little bit. I plan to be outside a lot this summer and sit out on my patio and enjoy the nice weather, take my Switch out, my Nintendo Switch, play Animal Crossing and stuff. I think I've gone out there 5 times, maybe 5 times. And I keep telling myself I'm going to go out, I have a little table I want at Target. I was going to stick that up. I can take my computer out and I can just sit and write and be super creative out by my plants and my garden and whatnot. And I haven't done any of that. I'm too afraid to take my computer out, honestly, because I paid $700 for it. And I don't just willy-nilly have $700 to blow on a new laptop anytime I need one. So I'm always too afraid to take it out in case my laptop does break or something were to happen, because my last one kind of went kaput over nothing. And I never really did figure out what happened. I went in with forgot to tell you, the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Hydrate in F4. I usually use F2, but C2 is my shade and the concealer shade, all over for Makeup Revolution. And I noticed that F2 was a little bit too light, so I went with F4 then. And I kind of I feel like it matches perfectly, but at the same time, it still seems a little off to me. So I've kept the other one because it's still perfectly fine and I can make it work especially in the summer months. So maybe that's what I'll use it for, is just for a summer foundation. But now I'm going in with the Conceal and Hydrate concealer in the shade C2. I haven't used this foundation and concealer duo in a while, and for the longest time it was one of my favorite go-tos at the moment, and it's still one of my favorites. I still really like the way it looks. I kind of wanted to do a dewy-ish look today, but I did want that full coverage look, and this is definitely full coverage. It's definitely up my alley. I would definitely recommend checking this out. I like this better than the original one. I find that this one's a little bit not super dewy, but dewy enough that you can tell a difference. And for me, it's the perfect amount of dewiness that my oils can come out, but it's not excessive. I know they have their dewy foundation, and I've bought that, but I've only used it once, and I'm not really sure how I liked it. I don't remember what I felt about it, but that one might be a little bit too much for me with oily skin. But maybe if you have super dry skin, you'd like it, or if you like a dewier look, that might be for you. I know today I'm going to do a very basic look because I have an eyeshadow palette that I have bought and have not used much since I bought it. I think I might have used it once. So we're going to use that today and play around with it. I saw that BH Cosmetics recently came out. I'm going to use the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder today in the shade Natural. I saw that BH Cosmetics recently came out with the Iggy Azalea collection, and I'm a big Iggy fan. Whenever there was that beef with her and Nicki Minaj, I was Team Iggy. I'm always Team Iggy. I know, like, she's one of those people that she's done some sketchy stuff, but if we're just talking, like, music and whatnot, I really like her. So I was thinking about getting some stuff from the collection until I saw the prices on everything, and this is not my, like, week to buy a bunch of expensive stuff. Not that any week is ever that week for me, but I saw the eyeshadow palettes were $17. There's a 6-shade like face palette that's more like a contour bronzer with a little bit of like under eye brightening powder with it. That was $19. There's some lipsticks or lip glosses, a mirror, a brush set, a makeup bag, and then eyelashes. I don't know if I said eyelashes, but there was all of those things. And I was thinking about the mirror, but then I realized they're like devil horns, and I'm not really like feeling that. Oh, and there's a perfume that's like something about devilish stuff. So if you're into that, like check it out. But I wasn't feeling the mirror, didn't want the brushes. I was thinking about doing the face duo, but then I'm thinking, am I going to use it? And for $19, that's kind of expensive when I already have like the best ones. I did it again. I used a freaking highlighter as my contour. Ugh. This is twice now I've done this with this product because it's the same. Oh, it's a little bit bigger pan-wise to the L'Oreal Lumi Lumit Bronzer. And I go in for that thinking that that's it. So now we're going to be slightly highlighted on my forehead because dummy me screwed up my makeup. Way to go. But, I was thinking about picking up that face palette, but then I'm like, I don't know if I'd use it, and I already have other face palettes that if I were to use a face palette, I have enough good ones that I would like rather use those than a new one, even though the new one, the shades don't look terrible. They look like I could get away with them. I mean, there's only one palette, and it looks like it's more for like medium to light skin tones, which is unfortunate that like the deeper skin tones always get left behind. Like collaborators only put out with one, and it's always for lighter skin tones. But then there's 3 eyeshadow palettes, and I was going to get the purple one, but then I was thinking about it, and I was like, I don't know if I want to buy this. And if I buy anything, I have to spend like $40 or so, and I don't really want anything else from BH Cosmetics website right now. So then I was like, well, I think I'm just going to hold off, maybe wait for like if it comes to Ulta. Like, I don't feel comfortable like spending so much on shipping just to get an eyeshadow palette that's like $17. To me, that's not worth it. And it's a 9-pan palette, so that's kind of expensive, especially for like BH Cosmetics, because usually they have like giant palettes for that price. So I'm like not really feeling that. So I just kind of put that on pause, but it's definitely something I'm interested in. Okay, now that looks a lot better. Now that our forehead's all sparkly, which that was great. Loved that. Love that. And I love that I pick up on that after I've already done it. Like, it's nice that I get through doing that, you know? I'm going to go in with the Wet n Wild Baked Blush in Hummingbird Hype. This is one of my, like, favorites. It's not the greatest, like, if you look at this in terms of a blush, it's more of a highlighter. But I use it as like a bronzer topper, honestly, because it gives off a little bit of like an orangish glow. It's more of like a highlighter than anything, but I'm still going to highlight after this, honestly. But I mainly just use it as like a topper for my bronzers. I really like the way it looks. I kind of wish it had a little bit more pigment and wasn't just like straight sheen, but it is what it is. We just kind of deal with it, you know? Maybe I won't highlight. I mean, who am I kidding? I probably will. And I just had one from Wet n Wild that was like this, and I threw it away. Well, I was going to give it away because I'm not really, like, into blushes that do this. I don't know. Should I keep this? I have 2 backups that I bought on Amazon because I couldn't find this on its own from Wet n Wild's website. Like, I couldn't track it down anywhere except for Amazon. So I bought 2 backups just to have, and they were really cheap, like $5-ish a piece. But now I'm thinking, like, is this something I'm gonna keep using? Is this something that I'm gonna, like, I might as well stay with the gold thing. Like, am I going to continuously use this? Do I really need 3 of them? I'm using the Wet n Wild highlighter in Golden Flower Crown because it's gold and it'll keep up with the gold that already came from that blush. I'm sort of thinking of getting rid of those blushes just because I don't really think I need all of them, especially if there's like no pigment to this blush. Like, I really like that it like enhances my bronzer, but I don't use it all that often, so I don't know. Now I am going in with the ColourPop Brow Boss Brow Pencil in Brunette. And that was the Maybelline Fast Sculpt Brow Gel Mascara, I think it was. And now I'm using the e.l.f. Putty Eye Primer. Comes in this little pot. I don't know what the shade is. It's cream. Yeah, I have the shade cream. Why don't you go look out the window? Watch the gas company work. Yeah, go look out the window. I don't know why Chad's being all weird today. It's funny. So Chad's my cat, in case you don't know. And he lived at home since he was born, since he came out of his mother. His mother lived with us before she got pregnant. That's kind of why we kept her, because she was pregnant. We didn't feel comfortable just throwing her back out on the street, because that's kind of where we found her. And our street's like known for having cats. I don't know if they just like to breed in our town or what, but our street gets like flooded with them all the time. And he was just turned 5 a couple days ago, side note. And he never used to be clingy whenever he lived at home. He liked me. He liked whenever I came around. Because I moved out whenever he turned like 2 or 3, something like that. It's been a couple years now. But I moved out and would come by to visit all the time. And he was like always really excited to see me, help me through my breakup, help me like just like whenever I would go to hang out, he'd be there. He'd like keep me company while I was watching TV or like helping mom in the kitchen. Like, he was always my buddy. So whenever I moved here and my guinea pig passed away, I was like, I want the cat. I want Chad. So Chad came to live with me and he's been super clingy from the beginning. He like has his moments, but most of the time is very clingy with me. And he was with me all week whenever I was home getting my teeth pulled, and very clingy, hung around, just loved having me here. And then I left and went to work, and that night I didn't get home till like 9 or 10. He was really upset, like so depressed that I was so late getting home, because if I tell him that I'm out of tissues, if I tell him I'm gonna be home at 5:30 and I'm not home at 5:30, he's like very upset. He just gets sad, you know? And then he'll like meet me at the door because he's so excited to see me. But I don't know if maybe me going to work and then like now being home in the middle of the day is like upset his schedule, which is the usual schedule. I don't know. He's just kind of, hey, Chad. Now he's sitting on his throne, his little chair. Today I'm using the BH Cosmetics Sweet Shop Sugar Cone palette. It is the brown one. It looks like this. It took me a year since the release to get this palette. I can't believe it took a full year to get this eyeshadow palette in my possession. I've been trying to get it. Every time they like have a restock, I like go on, but this is like the one palette that gets sold out every time. So it's been so hard for me to be able to get it at all. So I finally was able to track it down. I've heard mixed things about this palette. Not so much that it's bad quality, but just that people don't like the neutrals. I love browns so much that this was like my dream palette. I've seen swatches and they looked gorgeous. I've seen eye looks and I was like, I have to have this palette. I finally got it and I haven't played with it. I've had it like a month now and haven't played with it. So we're going in with Sugar Rush and I'm just using that to put it all over the lid, but stick it mainly in the crease and just like use what's left on the brush on the rest of my lid. I really think I can create some cute looks like for work days and stuff, because honestly, this isn't the type of palette that like, it's gonna give you these dramatic eye looks and you're gonna get this like super fabulous like outcome. It's just your basic everyday eyeshadow palette, but I think you can create some really nice stuff with it. So I'm really excited to have it now. Now I'm gonna go in with Toasted and I'm gonna put that in the outer corner and then in my crease. I just really like a good brown palette, and I didn't have one that was like straight brown, like, this is a mixture of warm and cool tone. It looks more warm tone, but then some of the shimmers look a little bit more like cool toned. I'm sorry if you hear any of the construction noise. I can't really do anything about it. But at least I'm in a better apartment this time than I was the first time I was in an apartment, because at the last one I lived beside a bar, beside a train crossing, beside a really busy road, beside an auction house / thrift store, whatever you want to call it. And they were always doing construction. Anytime there were like work trucks, they'd park right beside the apartment. It was just a pain. And then on top of that, I had terrible neighbors. So it just like, it was just a bad, you know, all around bad situation. But now that we're in this new apartment and they're only doing this stuff until, it said September. So I'm thinking like end of September, early October, they should be done. Because that's usually when construction finishes, is like mid-fall. So hopefully they'll be done with that. I thought they were done on my side of town, but apparently they're not. They were putting up a bunch of signs and they had blocked off my road a good ways. Like, I was able to get out this morning, but they were like, I could see them showing up down the street where they're working now. And then there were signs that like one lane, like watch for people telling you how to drive through the town, like, you know, with the flaggers and stuff. But I didn't see anybody. And I live like right on the edge of town. There's two different edges technically. There's north and south. I live on the south end now, so I didn't have to travel through much. And even if there is much construction, I usually get like the tail end of it, so I can get to work without any issue. I can get home without any issue. Luckily today, because the last time they were doing construction, I like struggled to get to my driveway. Today, the truck was like right past my driveway. So I was able to squeeze my car in, and I'm like, I just need to squeeze it in. I'll be here for a couple hours. It's fine. I don't really know if I'm going to do anything tonight. This would be a really nice palette for fall. I've been really thinking about what I want to do for October, because that's usually when like makeup artists and creators and influencers and etc. do a lot of Halloween looks and like SFX looks. And I'm not that great at like SFX. I've never really done much of it, so I'm not sure like what I would do, but I kind of like the thought of being able to like do fun looks and like try new stuff. So I think I'm gonna make a plan for a bunch of different looks and videos for the month of October, so that way I like have some really cool Halloween content for you guys, even if it's like the Bratz challenge, or doing my makeup like somebody does, or like this funny like purple and orange look, or like making myself a pumpkin, like a jack-o'-lantern kind of thing, you know. I'm like, I just want to try something else, something I don't normally do, and just kind of see what happens. Because especially with makeup, it's all about like just trial and error and just testing things out, seeing what you can do and what you can make work and happen. And I'm not that great with doing my makeup, doing like fun stuff with it. So I really want to get more into that and just like try my hand at what, you know, at a bunch of stuff and just see what happens. I think that's matching. It looks like it's matching. The camera can be very deceiving, I do have to say. I've done looks in the camera, and then whenever I like get done filming a video, I'm like, oh, that doesn't look right. Or when you turn off your lights and everything like gets into natural lighting, you're like, oh my gosh, like I don't really look like that. Like, that's great. I think this looks good. I'm liking this so far. It's a very brown orangish look. I'm going back and, oh, that was a shade Homemade. I used that on the outer edge and then blended it in. Now I'm going back in with Toasted, and I'm going to run that along my lower lash line. Oh yeah, this shade's nice. So I dropped something outside. Okay, now we are going in with a little small brush. It's the Makeup Academy crease brush, the 315 brush. I'm taking that into cookie dough, just very lightly, and I'm going to use that as my inner corner and brow bone highlight. It's a little bit glittery, but I don't mind. That's not really a problem for me. Oh, that was a lot. Got a big chunk there. You can see it a little bit, but it's not that bad. Like, it's starting to go a little haywire, but it's okay. I don't mind. I mean, it could just be me sitting at home all night tonight by myself after I finish my chores, which I just have to finish some laundry. Okay, here is dipped cinnamon and fudge. I think I'm going to go in with fudge, this dark brown shade, and they feel very creamy. I do have to note, it doesn't feel quite like powdery like I was expecting. So that could be a good thing, that like they have a little bit more substance to to themselves. So in that way they like can stick better on the eye and be a little bit more tacky. I touched my face somehow, I think with maybe one of the other fingers that still had product on them, and I ended up getting some like gold on my face, which is okay because it like matches the rest of my look. So I'm not mad. Oh yeah, I'm getting it all over myself. We're gonna go back into that shade and do it on the other eye. This is a little bit darker gold than I was expecting. So I'm going to use that same crease brush in cookie dough, and I'm going to try and like pat that in on top of this and see what happens, if it can like lighten it up a little bit, because I didn't want something super dark, but if that's the case, then so be it. But you know, if we can help it, then let's try. Okay, that is what it looks like with that other shade packed on. I think it looks a little bit better. It's not terrible. I don't mind this. I kind of like it. I have some false lashes I was going to try to use, but I'm not sure I want to. Okay, we're going to use the Lash Princess mascara from Essence and see then if we want false lashes. Because I started to slowly like dabble in them to the point that I like sort of know what I'm doing now. But I kind of don't want to just wear false lashes like just around my apartment, you know? Even though some people can like do an eye look and they add the false lashes and like all of a sudden it's like 10 times better, and it's like, what the heck? I add lashes and my look just like falls apart because the lashes never get, you know. I really thought I had a streak of that gold shimmer shade like all over the back of my hand. It's just my finger. It's just the way the lighting is hitting it right now. I think I'm just going to do mascara at this point. I don't think I am going to use the false lashes. I think I'm just going to keep it a natural day because that's what I'm used to doing. I feel like I'm going to become one of these people that like, now that I can use and can figure out false lashes, I'm never going to like natural lashes and just going to constantly be putting fake ones on every time and be like, my look's not complete without some false lashes. And it's like, you didn't feel that way like yesterday, you know? Like, I don't want to become that person because I know some people that like act that way, and it's really unfortunate because like you don't need the false lashes all the time. So now I'm going in with the Fourth Ray Beauty Glisten Up Mist. This one can be a little bit chaotic whenever it sprays out, so I like try and keep my hand like way back here and like prepare myself because it's very intense. Oh, that was a good spray. That was good. And it smells like oranges. I love the smell of oranges, so I'm like here for that. Now, this is my little caddy of like my favorite lipsticks, and I think I'm going to go in with one from Essence today and keep things very, yeah, I'm going to go in with, this is Nude, 5 Legendary. It's just one of their basic lipsticks. I really like this formula, and it's so cheap and affordable that like they're $3 or $4 a lipstick, so you can pick up a couple at a time and like really build up your lipstick like catalog that you have, like collection. and I'm not using lip liner just because I never do. Plus with lipstick, it fades so fast and like rubs off on stuff that I just don't see the point. But here is the final look. I hope you guys like this video. It was just a simple get ready with me, putting on some makeup, talking about makeup. It's usually what I do here on my channel. If you like that, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Ring that notification bell down below so you get notified when I upload any future videos. Feel free to check out some of the other ones I have. Come back for more. I'd love to have you guys here on my channel and be a part of this little channel here. I don't have many subscribers, but I love all the ones that I do have. I'd love to get more so I can share what little knowledge and opinion I have about makeup with you guys. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.